Okay, I put together a little video just for you because I wanted to answer your questions. So this is the machine as it is currently assembled. Still need to put the motor on again and the balance wheel and the singer light. Everything here is just purely mechanical so that way I can test this stuff out. There is no binding. I have pretty much cleaned up, lubed up, degreased all of the parts. It's working beautifully. So I currently have the feed connecting rod, which raises the feed dog up and down, disconnected currently, so that way I can test just the feed fork connection with the eccentric hinge screw. The place that it is currently set at is exactly where the 1936 adjuster's manual says to put it. Should adjustment be necessary, loosen the feed fork connection eccentric hinge screw nut and turn the screw until the high throw is toward the top of the machine in the direction of the feed fork connection. That's exactly what I did. I marked the area that is its high throw, and it is pretty much exactly in that area of being in the direction of the top of the machine toward the feed fork connection. Okay, so I currently have the machine set at 6 stitches per inch. Here's my stitch gauge that I created in Adobe Illustrator. What I did was I got a 1 by 1 inch square, divided that by 6, and I got these exactly to where the 6 stitches per inch should be. I have to align this properly here just to make sure I got it. Okay, let me zoom in. I don't have a tripod. Very sorry. My tripod broke. That's slightly off. Let me see if I can adjust it. Okay, I have this aligned pretty as well as I can get it. Come on, it's not sitting straight. Hold on. Okay, this should be perfect. So that back tooth that you can see, let me point it out. This back tooth should go exactly to that black mark when I move the arm forward, or when I move the feed dog forward. And it is short by about 1/64 of an inch, 1/32 of an inch, somewhere around there. It's just barely missing the mark. This is the problem. It's not moving forward enough. In addition to that, I'm going to throw this bar in reverse, okay? And I noticed that the teeth are not aligned with the previous area. Let me put this back down. Let's see here. Put this back to the backmost throw and then bring this up. When I bring it this way and then go backward, it is still short by about the same amount. In fact, it's probably a little bit worse, I would say. So the next thing that I noticed is that when I bring this down a little bit, let me zoom out so you can see my hand. The feed dog will go back just a little bit and then start moving forward. And if I have this in the forward direction, it'll still go back a little bit and then move forward. I'll give you an example. Let me put this back where I had it. Now, when I start moving, I'm going to start lifting the stitch regulator bar up. Look what happens. It goes back just a little bit and then forward. It's not as bad going forward as when I throw the lever from. So check this out. So I have it as far back. I'm turning the shaft a little bit, right? And I'm going to get it as far back as possible. And then I'm going to start throwing this bar down, and look what happens. See how it's going backward and then forward? Let me do it again. Back and then forward. Back and then forward. So in other words, when I get to about right here, that is when it has gone back and it's meeting the line. So something's telling me that inside the machine, the feed fork connection is not pivoting exactly centered where it needs to be. That tells me that there could also be a problem because you know how the feed fork connection slides up and down the slideway on the regulator bar? The regulator, what's it called? The regulator thing, right? The cast iron slideway block. If this isn't centered properly, if the pivot point is not perfectly centered, not only could it possibly produce this problem, but I could also imagine that it would not reach the full amount of the length of the stitch distance that it's supposed to. That's my thinking. Don't know if there's any truth to this at all. So let me see if I can get in here real quick and show you. I'm going to pause it. Okay, I have my automotive light currently shining through the holes. That way I can have some illumination so I can film this. So watch what happens. When this is all the way up, when I start pushing it down, it goes down a little bit before it starts going up. The feed fork connection is going the direction opposite that it should be moving. Down and then up. Down and then up a little bit. It's making like a little, just a slight hook shape before it's moving in the right direction. To me, that tells me there's a problem because it should either be going up only or down only. I could also imagine it has something to do with the positioning of the feed cam. So I can try to manipulate it. Maybe I can get the feed cam exactly in the most thrown. I'm looking through my camera so I can see this. It still goes up a little bit. See, now it's really making a curve. It depends on which way the horizontal arm shaft is positioned. Sometimes it goes up a little bit, sometimes it goes up more. To me, I don't know. That just seems like a red flag to me. I don't know. It should either be going up or down, not both ways, which tells me perhaps that right here that this the bearing, the stud, right, and then you got the bearing slide block in there. Maybe it's not perfectly centered and aligned with the feed regulator vertically. So that's why I'm wondering if maybe I need to replace the feed regulator, the stitch regulator, because maybe it was manufactured incorrectly to be off-center. I can't see any other way that this could possibly be happening. It has to do with that feed regulator. At least that's what my mind is telling me. Anyway, you tell me if you have ever seen that. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. I don't know. But to me, that tells me there could be a loss of motion. Since it's curving on its intended position when I shift from back to forth, that means maybe this amount of movement from here to here is being lost, and the same thing in the opposite direction. Remember how the backward stitch is further off in its distance than the forward stitch? So maybe it's exactly the thing. When I move this from here to here, you see more of a movement doing that than when it's here and you just see a slight movement. I got the hiccups, excuse me. Anyway, tell me what you think.